J. Fletcher Creamer & Son. You are now working for a family that is sincere in its desire to safely conduct all of our operations. We are committed to providing safe tools and the proper personal protection equipment, not only for job efficiency, but also primarily for the safety of you and your fellow employees. Working safely is a part of your job. You and every member of this company are members of our safety program. But any successful safety program must involve the cooperation and commitment of all employees. Everyone has to follow the guidelines set forth in this video and in the company's safety and health policies and procedures to make the program work. You will be required to wear clothing suitable for the work you will be performing. The company requires full-length pants, a shirt that covers the shoulders, and substantial footwear as a minimum requirement. Safety toe shoes are always recommended and may be mandatory at some locations. Your clothing should be in good condition and not be a hazard to your personal safety. Company-issued hard hats and safety glasses are to be worn at all times when working in the field. Personal prescription safety glasses must meet requirements of the American National Standards Institute, including frames, lenses, and solid side shields. If they do not, you will be supplied with and required to wear additional protection in the form of safety glasses, goggles, a face shield, or a combination of these during your employment. The company will supply additional personal protective equipment as needed based on work assignments and area conditions. This equipment may include, but not be limited to, additional eye, hearing, face, hand, fall, and respiratory protection. Defective or damaged personal protective equipment shall not be used. Personal protective equipment alone should not be relied on to provide protection against hazards, but should be used in conjunction with guards, engineering controls, and sound construction practices to keep you safe. It is the policy of J. Fletcher Creamer to take all practical measures possible to prevent employees from being injured by falls from heights. We intend to comply fully with the OSHA Fall Protection Standard. The first priority is given to the elimination of fall hazards by the use of guarding or handrails. If a fall hazard cannot be eliminated effectively, fall protection will be planned, implemented, and monitored to control the risks of injury due to a fall. All employees exposed to potential falls of 6 feet or greater will be required to wear fall protection equipment. A full-body harness will be provided for all employees exposed to possible fall hazards. Superintendents and the foreman will be responsible for the implementation and enforcement of a fall protection plan for each job site and will select the appropriate fall protection systems and/or equipment. All fall protection equipment provided must be inspected before each use to check for any damage and to assure the equipment is in good operating condition. The following are examples of situations where fall protection would be needed. This list is by no means complete, and there are many other situations where a fall of 6 feet or more is possible. These include wall openings, holes, leading edge construction, excavations, scaffolding, and working from ladders. Remember that anyone exposed to a fall greater than 6 feet must utilize appropriate type of fall protection. If you have any questions concerning fall protection equipment or procedures, ask your superintendent or foreman before beginning work. Following these basic safety rules can prevent unnecessary injuries involved in the use of hand and power tools. Examine each tool for damage before use. Keep all tools in good condition with regular maintenance. Use the proper protective equipment. Operate according to the manufacturer's instructions. Remove any damaged tools or equipment from service at once. Power tools can be hazardous when improperly used. There are several types of power tools based on the power source they use: electric, pneumatic, gas, hydraulic, and powder actuated. Work areas shall be kept as clean and dry as possible to prevent accidental slips when using dangerous hand tools. When using power tools, you should observe the following general precautions. Never carry a tool by the cord or hose. Never yank the cord or the hose to disconnect it from the receptacle. Disconnect tools when not in use, before servicing and when changing accessories such as blades, bits, or cutters. Use all appropriate safety devices such as hose whips, safety pins, guards, and shields. Tools should be carefully maintained. They should be kept sharp and clean for the best possible performance. Traffic controls are necessary to provide protection for you when working in the roadway, as well as protection for the traveling public. Refer to the MUTCD Pocket Traffic Book, provided to all superintendents and foremen, for proper layout of the traffic controls necessary to provide you with a safe work area. All employees will be required to wear the appropriate reflective safety vests at all times while working in and around live traffic. Before beginning any excavation, the location of all underground utilities must be determined. This can be accomplished by contacting the local one-call center for the area. All utility markout requests must be documented on the proper forms. It will be necessary to survey your specific work locations to determine if there are any unmarked utilities in your area. Look for manholes, blow-offs, or utility monuments that may indicate the presence of an underground utility. The three basic protective systems J. Fletcher Creamer & Son provides to protect you in excavations and trenches are sloping and benching, wood shoring, and trench boxes. All protective systems shall have the capacity to resist, without failure, all loads that are intended or could reasonably be expected to be applied to the system. Exceptions to using protective systems are excavations that are less than 5 feet deep and have been declared safe by a foreman or competent person, or if the excavations are made entirely in stable rock. Before any work is performed and before anyone may enter the excavation area, a number of items must be checked. Workers will be supplied with and wear any personal protective equipment as required by company safety policies. All spoil piles and materials will be stored a minimum of 2 feet from the edge of the excavation. If a trench or excavation is 4 feet or deeper, ladders must be used as a safe means of access and egress. This ladder must extend a minimum of 36 inches above the excavation and will be no more than 25 feet from where employees are working in the excavation. Place the ladder on firm footing and secure it to prevent displacement. Maintain the area at the base of the ladder to keep it clear of material, scrap, and other debris. Never carry materials or tools up a ladder. Use a hand line. Inspect ladders for defects such as split side rails, cracked, broken, or missing rungs before using. Defective ladders must be removed from service immediately. Remember to always face the ladder and properly grip the side rails with both hands. Ladders present unique opportunities for unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. Always use caution when working with ladders. No employee will work in an excavation where water is accumulating unless adequate measures such as pumps are used to protect the employees. A foreman will inspect all excavations and trenches twice daily prior to employee entry and after any rainfall, soil change, or at any other time needed during the shift. Prompt measures will be taken to eliminate all hazards. Groundwork can be extremely hazardous. Trench collapses, objects falling onto people, vehicles or personnel falling into excavations, and the undermining of the roadway or nearby structures are all dangers associated with excavation. Never be tempted to take shortcuts. The risks are just too great. Always excavate using safe digging procedures. At the beginning of your shift, always check for evidence of slides or cave-ins and make sure trench supports are secure. Among the chief hazards of electric-powered tools are electrocution and shocks. Under certain conditions, even a small amount of current can result in severe injuries. A shock also can cause the user to fall off a ladder or other elevated work surfaces. For these reasons, anything concerning the use of electricity is considered very serious. GFCI protection ground fault circuit interrupters shall be provided for all non-permanent electrical supply outlets. This includes all temporary power supplied in the field. This power shall be provided through inline GFCIs to prevent electrocution. GFCIs shall be tested on a regular basis. To protect you from shock, electric power tools must have a 3-wire cord with a ground and be powered from a GFCI power source. 3-wire cords contain 2 current-carrying conductors and a grounding conductor. One end of the grounding conductor connects to the GFCI and the other end is grounded through a prong on the tool's metal housing. All electrical cords and hand tools must be inspected prior to use at the beginning of each shift for damaged or missing grounding plugs. Extension cords with damaged insulation must be removed from service immediately. Do not attempt to repair a damaged cord with electrical tape or duct tape. These are not acceptable repairs. When not in use, tools must be unplugged and stored in a dry place. Only use equipment that has passed a daily inspection. During your daily work activity with J. Fletcher Creamer & Son, motor vehicles and heavy equipment will surround you. Proper safety practices should be followed to reduce the risk of injury and equipment damage. Only properly trained, licensed, and qualified personnel are authorized to operate company vehicles and equipment. Drivers and all passengers must be in the proper seats wearing seat belts as required by law. Riding the bumpers, buckets, flatbeds, or running boards is not permitted under any circumstances. Drivers and operators must perform daily inspections. Check that the glass is intact and clean. Make sure rear view mirrors are in proper working condition. Inspect the windshield wipers, lights, and turn signals. Check all fluids and check the tires for wear and proper pressure. Any equipment not in safe working order must not be operated until the deficiencies are corrected. Report any problems to your immediate supervisor. Backup alarms must be working and audible at all times. Any alarms not working must be fixed immediately, or the equipment should be shut down until this repair can be performed. There should be no exceptions to this rule. Operate all vehicles at the posted speed limits and always pay attention to your surroundings. Special attention should be paid when transporting equipment with a vehicle or trailer. When towing equipment, make sure that safety chains are attached and crossed and that safety or cotter pins are used when necessary. Check that the brake lights and turn signals are hooked up properly and in working order. On flatbed trucks, make sure that the load is properly secured. The bed area must be clean of all mud and debris to prevent it from spilling into the roadway during transport. When transporting loads, all materials must be properly cribbed and secured to prevent shifting. Nylon ratchet binders, chains, or stake sides can be used. The load must be covered when necessary. A walk-around inspection should be performed prior to departure. Visually inspect load during transportation and during stops. Housekeeping is one of the most important safety issues and must be addressed in and around your work area on a daily basis. Pile or remove all scrap lumber to prevent tripping hazards. Bend all protruding nails over to eliminate any potential for injury. Take the time to keep your work areas clean. Secure your work site at all times. All equipment must be secured at the end of each workday. To prevent loss of equipment, use all locks provided. Keep people from entering the work site by using a safety fence for your protection, as well as the public's. Protect all excavations to be left open overnight by either using road plates, barricades, or a safety fence.
Good morning, guys. This morning,
There will be a weekly safety meeting on every J. Fletcher Creamer & Son job site. The foreman or site supervisor will conduct the meeting. These are very important meetings. Your attendance will be mandatory.
That's like the #1 thing that we have to be aware of when we operate on the field.
J. Fletcher Creamer & Son will enforce its company's safety and health policies as follows. The first violation is a verbal warning. The second violation is a written warning, and a third violation will result in your termination. A blatant violation of company policies, which is significant, will call for your immediate dismissal. Drug testing may be required and is determined on a job-to-job basis. In closing, we would like to say that J. Fletcher Creamer & Son are dedicated to providing you, our employees, with a safe and healthy work environment. This can only be attained with your commitment and help. And with that, we can continue to be one of the leaders in the construction industry. Please report any unsafe conditions to your immediate supervisor or foreman. And remember, there is no job so important that we cannot take the time to perform our work safely.
Hi, I'm Glenn Creamer, Safety Director for the Creamer Companies. The video you just viewed showed you the commitment we at the Creamer Companies have for your safety. It's important for you to follow the basic guidelines of this video. If you have any questions, contact your immediate supervisor or contact me at the main office. Thank you and work safely.